Yo, what up, guys? It's Z. Nice to finally see you guys in the flesh. Anyways, I've always enjoyed being alone. Maybe a little too much, and maybe you guys can relate. And I'm not sure if that stems from my early childhood, because when I was younger, my mom was a single mother. She was often working, so I would just end up being home alone a lot, during the mornings and nights. And it wasn't anything depressing or sad, don't get me wrong, it's just how it was. I still remember the cold wooden floor, like, across your feet in the morning with, like, the morning dew and the fog. Those are just deeply ingrained in my head. And it wasn't like my mom abandoned me or anything. It was just that she had to go to work. So I just remember these, like, really deep memories of just a quiet room, like it's super dark, it's cold. You know what I mean? Like early in the morning when you're walking across like the wood, it's like really cold against your feet. It's quiet, you see the morning dew. Again, I don't think that's anything depressing. It's just like what I remember. It was honestly pretty nostalgic now. Like I love mornings when it's just cold and silent, or nights when it's just really quiet and I could just have time to think for myself. And I feel like that could be partially from my childhood. But of course, it's not all doom and gloom. I was in love with a very pretty girl at that age. And you're thinking, wow, that's really young. No, her name was PlayStation 2. Video games, extracurricular activities. And man, I would play games like Battle for Bikini Bottom 2, Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm 3. I remember the old Maddens were great. The one with Larry Fitzgerald and like I think it was the Steelers player, ATV Off Road Fury. If you played that, like the old rock music, oh man, the dad rock went crazy on that. That showed me a whole new genre of music, honestly, etc., etc. And then before the PS2, like let's go even before that, I had a Game Boy, right? I think I also grew up with an NES, so I actually had an older Game Boy, right? And it was like the ones that were shaped like this, kind of like a PSP, but it was long and pink. And these didn't have any backlight, so you would need to get a attachment for the light to shine down on the screen so you could see it. But anyways, later I found out the whole reason I had like the pink translucent Game Boy was because my mom couldn't afford it at the time, and that was the cheapest. So we bought a used pink translucent Game Boy, and pink would probably not be my first color, but I ended up loving it, and I still love pink, so I ended up loving it a lot. And I think I would play like Mario World 2 a lot and Pokemon Fire Red on that constantly. Then a DS later, Diamond and Pearl, Pokemon. But anyways, the point is I think video games really, kept me busy, kind of kept me company. Like when I didn't have friends to play with all the time or had no one in the house. And I don't know, that sounds kind of sad, right? But I feel like a lot of you guys can relate. I think that's why I still love gaming. I think it's just something I grew up with. It's something that makes me feel like I'm at home. It makes me feel good. It's just it's honestly a lifestyle. Like I've always been into it. I always loved it, and I honestly just love seeing technology. I like seeing new graphics. Even if I don't play games, I'm still into looking at games, seeing how they advance. Like I'm just super nerdy, but I love all of that. So those really did help manage those nights where it was really quiet and calm in the house. Just a few beeps and boops, throughout the night. And even though it was silent throughout the night, I honestly learned to enjoy it throughout the years. I honestly crave it being nice, calm, and quiet. It feels like almost serene. Like no one really bothers you. It's really quiet. It's tranquil. You have time to just focus, breathe, and just chill and relax all in one. And I noticed this is a pattern that would follow me throughout the rest of my life. I would always prefer to, gravitate towards going home or going back to base, instead of going out or doing the extra 2 hours out or going out that night. I just love being alone and in my room, in my own space that I curated where no one bothered me. So yeah, as I grew older, I noticed that I would tend to retreat more into my nest. I would love to just delve into like my music. I would love just like drawing, doing art, making things, watching YouTube videos, listening to podcasts, playing video games that I like, just like watching anime, just being into stuff I enjoy. It just felt so good. But honestly, maybe thinking about it, it was probably depression. But that's a whole nother topic. Don't get me wrong though, this was more how I behaved when I was like younger, like in high school. Like after college, I think I really like went all out. Like I did everything I possibly could to gain experience. I think that's the story for a lot of kids who were like, are in high school at 18 and they finally get to go out. They, kind of go a little wild, right? Hey, and don't get me wrong, this is more how I behaved in high school. I think during college, like the college years, I definitely tried to go out and do as many things as possible. Like everything I possibly could just to get experience. And I think that's how the story goes for most of the time in high school students, right? You know, they spend 18 years in high school, then they go to college and they kind of just like wild out a bit, you know, do everything they can, you know, meet people and everything. I remember when I would go out for a good while, but once my social battery ran out, I wanted to leave immediately. Like, take me home, country road, where I belong. And I think that's just because I'm a natural introvert. I think I'm just a naturally an introvert. I just prefer it. So, you know, just meeting up with people, having the dynamics, talking to people, maintaining relationships, you know, eye contact, like, how are you doing? How are you doing? All this, man, it drains me. I feel drained after. And it's not that I don't enjoy it either. I do enjoy it. I think everyone enjoys socializing, like if it's with the right people. And personally, I just need a recharge. It honestly does take a lot out of me. So it's just nice to just be able to just sit back and relax and reflect and recharge in the moment. And then once I'm recharged, I can fully go back out and experience life again once I feel ready. And that's usually how it goes. It's like the cycle. I noticed that a lot during college. I would retreat and then regain my energy and then go right back out. But I definitely noticed I needed a buffer. And I know this sounds really antisocial, but trust me, I'm not completely antisocial. I just live like it. And I think that's like my natural default. I do sometimes have to force myself to socialize. And once I do it, I honestly, I probably feel a lot better just actually doing it than not doing it. I think a lot of the time I actually enjoy going out and being out. It's just I have to get out of my head and actually get out in the first place. And again, I think friendships, you know, interactions and connecting with people is essential for being a human being and to feel alive. It's in our genetic makeup to connect with people. I think I remember reading something somewhere about how human beings are social creatures and they'll actually have negative effects. You'll actually harm yourself negatively, like physically, health wise, if you don't connect and talk with people. Your brain function gets lower, you know, your happiness and everything just diminishes. In the end, we are social creatures, which is crazy. It's like in our genetic makeup, we get like dopamine from talking and like we get like it has certain chemicals get released and everything. So yeah, I think connecting with people, collaborating with people is what makes us human. And I think we've been doing it for thousands and thousands of years, each generation teaching the other generation information and then them building upon it, or just multiple people coming together, you know, and collaborating, creating something bigger than themselves. I think that's how we progress as a species, you know? How do we create skyscrapers? We need multiple people, multiple things. Like it's really important to connect with people, collaborate, and share experiences and ideas. It's what makes us human and it's how we got so far now. So while living life, it's important to remember you don't have to do it alone. Everything great has been created with collaboration and shared ideas. And I think the point I'm trying to bring up is that you don't have to do it alone, but I think it's very important to be alone sometimes. And it's a valuable skill to have. And I think it can be dangerous when you can't be alone and you can't stand to be alone. I think everyone should learn and should spend a good amount of time with themselves. For example, I love to think and ponder when I'm alone. I love that I'm kind of living at my own pace and rhythm. And by that, I mean, you know, I'm just listening to my body. I'm not going too fast, going too slow. I'm really calm. I'm not accommodating for anybody else. I think that's really important. It's just me, baseline, and it's really just a relaxed state. Because, like I said, it's kind of exhausting having to kind of navigate and deal with people. Like, for example, you know, to like navigate the dynamics or conversation, I don't have to worry if they're entertained or they're bored, you know, if I'm not talking to them enough, if they're feeling like they're being neglected or something. I can just be me. I can relax and just sit back and chill. I don't have to, you know, micromanage anybody or have to deal with anyone's emotions or thoughts. And honestly, it's such a vibe being alone. I like do everything. I put on music, put on YouTube, turn on my PC, listen to anime, go on, put on a podcast, look at my cards, like look up things, look at memes. I don't know. I have a great time, honestly. But again, I might be built for this. My favorite thing is you can like choose whatever you want to do. Any video game you want to play, you can play it. You don't have anyone coming in your ear telling you, oh, let's do this or let's watch this movie. You can watch anything you want. It's on your own time, which I love. And of course, being at home, you need to be creative. Like you need to have developed some kind of hobbies. And the more hobbies you have, I think the less bored you'd be at home, right? And quick clarification. When I say I love being alone, it doesn't mean I love being lonely. I don't think anyone really likes to be lonely. It's just nice to not be in other people's business or drama all the time. I feel like personally for me, a lot of my stress comes from other people. Like when my phone is dry, I am really happy. And is that weird? Is that weird? Like, you know what I mean? Like baseline me, it's always peaceful. I'm not looking for drama. I'm not trying to cause drama. I'm not searching for it. No one's messaging me. No one's texting me like some crazy things. I remember a point in time where my phone was so dry that a text message would give me anxiety. You know, when I'm in my own world, no one cares. I can just exist. I have no problems except the very immediate problems I can fix. You know, I feel like everything is just more easy and chill. Everything is flowing correctly. But whenever I'm in like group dynamics or like friend groups where I'm like in a iMessage group chat or we have multiple heads, I always feel like I'm always like in some drama or having to fix a problem. Like a problem always arises somehow, some way, and I think that's just inevitable. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. That's just life. It's gonna happen, and that's just what happens when you participate in life. I mean, you just have to go through all the ups and downs. It's gonna go up and down. Nothing. What I've realized after living, I'm 27 now. After living 27 years, I realized that something will always need to be fixed. You will always need to update something. Something will always break. You always need to do something. You'll never just like have everything done and perfect. Something will always go wrong. That's for sure what I realized. And that's just life. You just always have to deal with these little things. Can't always just go back into your room and isolate. I mean, as I'm getting older, now 27, I think I'm valuing my alone time even more now. I think it's just very beneficial to just pause in such a fast moving world, just to pause, stop, think, and reflect. But, anyways, thank you guys for watching.